Hey viewers, welcome to another game of the Casual Pro Gamer. Today we are doing another StarCraft 1 versus 1, and this is dTefel as the Zerg player in the top left corner against mTLpal. Yeah, I guess that's how I should pronounce that. As the Protoss player in the bottom right corner. So Zerg versus Protoss, or Protoss versus Zerg, however you want to look at that. Yeah, that's going to be a fast expansion here. Yeah, pylon going down already. So he's going to get some gateways and forge and probably the cybernetics core in this region here to wall this off to make sure that the Zerglings can't get through, and then place a cannon behind it to make sure that they won't even try. And then in the meantime, somewhere in between, going to fast expand. You can do that straight away, but that's really risky, of course. But then again, you can also do it, well, after you, for example, build the forge. If you build a forge and perhaps a gateway, then before the cannon, so you can already expand and then build the cannon later. That is, well, it's still somewhat risky, but not so much anymore in StarCraft 2. They made it quite impossible to rush these kind of maps because this is a pretty long map. It takes a long time to go from one end to the other, and you basically, yeah, you're going to lose quite a bit of mining time and such if you're going for that really early rush. So yeah, that's why we see this Nexus coming up really early. It is a risky move, but it is definitely worth it if you can pull it off. So he is going to build a couple of buildings here, as I said. Forge going down, probably gateway over here, and then cybernetics core over here. And then he has a little gap to run through with his own units if he wants to move out. And you only have to defend that little gap, because everything else is defended by the pylon. And as long as nothing gets through... Oh, it's even... Yeah, this is even, well, closer, of course. But it's an easier run through. But it is, of course, it only requires that one gateway. The photon cannon going up over there, so not over here where I would have expected it to go up. But it does mean that it can probably reach this destructible rock pile. And he might be able to use it for that. So to take down that, well, that patch. And we'll have to see. So anyway, the cannon comes up, the hatchery on the other side comes up. So the Protoss player ahead in bases here because he went for that really early Nexus. And yeah, that is it's risky, as I said, but it is definitely worth it. Because being ahead in bases as a Protoss versus Zerg, that is quite significant. It means that you actually get more resources in that early game, and that can turn into well, an army advantage in the early game, and that can result in kind of being able to expand further and to have an army advantage in the late game. So yeah, that little bit of advantage that he got in his economy from this base being up a little bit earlier, that can actually be significant. So we don't normally see that, and once again a probe trying to make it through, and will it actually make it? Yeah, it will see this hatchery, but that's about it, I think. Yeah, the Zerglings of course going to try to catch it, but are they going to manage? No, they're not going to manage. He does keep his probe alive. Probe is going to run back, and wow, the queen all the way out here. Oh yeah, he was running towards that new base. That's why he was all the way out there. So yeah, the queen coming in over there, and this overlord is going to go down to the stalker. Come on, stalker! There we go. So I'm not sure what the range on these cannons is. It may actually be just too short to get this, but Hey, who knows? Well, someone will know, but not me. So we have what coming up? A gateway and a robotics facility. Another gate or 2 other gateways. Okay. This is production, right? Oh, here. Yeah. 3 gateways and 1 warp gate going up. Well, warp gate research, I guess. So yeah, the warp gate research is of course something significant that you want, because it allows you to produce an extra wave of units, that's one. Although it's not really used for that normally. It also allows you to produce units quicker, and it allows you to warp them in wherever you want, wherever you need them. And to kind of do what Zerg does. So you warp them in all at the same time. And you can create a full army from nothing. You don't have to build them one by one. You just have to, well, get your cooldowns going. And once you have that, so as you can see, you can warp in an entire army somewhere, like here. So yeah, the cannon apparently couldn't reach. So okay. Must be like really close to it though, because they have pretty decent range. Anyway, the destructible rock's getting taken out, which means that he wants to take this base and wants it to be defendable, obviously. So we have some roaches, some zerglings coming out. It's not a big deal. The infestors, however, are going to be a big deal, although they're not as efficient against Protoss as they are versus Terran. I guess they're mostly used against the Terran armies, because Terran has all kinds of units that are, well, really vulnerable to those infestors. And yeah, the Protoss army just doesn't. I mean, zealots and I guess stalkers are still pretty vulnerable to it, but well, immortals and the air units and such, yeah, they're not used too much. So, well, immortals are used, but they're not really vulnerable to those infestors, because they just two-shot the infestors. And although the infestors can still do the damage, then it is wow, how did he not engage there? I guess he was afraid of getting split into half with the sentries, and then getting taken out, or losing half his army, or getting blocked in, or something like that. Who knows? But yeah, sentries really good for the early game if you can manage them. They can do really well, and it is quite significant that you have those units early on, because you can block off like your ramp. You can block off your cannon, so you can surround your cannon with 4 force fields, making sure that, for example, Zerglings cannot surround your cannon and kill it, and that is quite significant. So we have a huge army coming in, but yeah, there's a observer here, and the observer is of course going to spot everything. So there is the fungal growth on the zealots, and he is going to take out those zealots pretty quickly. And since the zealots are the front line of defense, that means that the Protoss player is going to fall back, and he's going to wait for his new zealots to come up. He did quite a significant amount of damage. Let's see. The Zerg player losing a little bit more there. Of course he lost more units because those are all Zerglings. But yeah, a little more resources as well, about 200 more. And yeah, it may not be a really big deal in the late game, but in the early game it's definitely, well, a medium big deal. It's not like huge, but still. So we have the entire army just over here sitting, and we have 2 scouts going in. They are changelings. They will change into another unit when they meet another unit. And they're going to turn into zealots. But yeah, this guy is going to come in. He's going to see both of them, and both of them die, because that is what they do. So yeah, as you can see, the Zerg army just trying to get into this base, but it is not going to work. Way too many anti-air units if there's only one Colossus out. He expected way more Colossi to be out, and this one Colossus can just run out, can just ignore the entire fight, try to stay alive, but also draw out these guys and make them overextend. And as you can see, they all get taken down for one Colossus. And yeah, actually 2 of them survive. But that is not good. He just doesn't have anything anymore now. He has 2 Corruptors and 51 Zerglings. With Zerglings, yeah. Oh, the Roach is coming up now. Building a lot of Roaches. Some Broodlords coming up. Well, he changed those 2 Corruptors into Broodlings. A few Corruptors and a lot of Infestors coming up. But yeah, this Protoss army is still standing, so he's going to have to do a great deal of damage to come back from this. And wow, both of them not really keeping up with the army production, because this guy doesn't have enough, well, to max out his army. He doesn't even have enough supply, but they do have quite a significant amount of minerals and such. I mean, 1,000 minerals, 2,000 minerals. That means that you're not producing the way you should. Of course, they do have pretty low amounts of Vespene gas. And yeah, that is the blocking resource here, I guess. But still, it is... yeah, it is this this Protoss army, as I said, that is still standing. So he should have better units now. Not so much more units or a higher army count, but just better units, and he should be able to deal with this entire army way better. And just blinking in there, getting an extra Roach out of that, and all the other Roaches pretty low. So the Zerglings are the ones that normally do the damage, but as you might have noticed, they melt pretty quickly. So yeah, instead of just running in with Roaches, you run in with Roaches and Zerglings. Try to get the damage done with the Zerglings, and let the Roaches take the damage from the enemy units. And that's the normal strategy. Yeah, he is building just very big units now in the hope that he can actually come back with those. But yeah, Infestors and Broodlords, although it's a reasonable combination, it is still pretty vulnerable to Blinkstalkers, because both of those units melt pretty quickly. And yeah, of course these Zerglings are going to melt to the Colossi. But here is the army coming in. We'll have to see. Yeah, if he blinks on these Broodlords, if he has enough Stalkers. He does have a large number of Stalkers, but I don't think it's enough to really shoot down these Broodlords without worrying about them. The Colossi getting sniped here. And they are getting... oh, they are not getting their money's worth. Yeah, this guy is also in some trouble, but he is going to make it out for now. And is there... no, there's no camo detection here. So that might actually prove significant, because there is a mothership out. And he needs to engage. Come on, go in. Get those units before they destroy your entire base. Yeah, he lost some yeah, he lost some buildings there for really no reason. He had a stronger army. He had the stealth or the... oh, of course, the fungal growth actually allows you to see them. So you don't need anything else than the fungal growth. So here we do see the vortex going down, and the rest of the army is going to come out right now. It's all Broodlords, and those Broodlords, as I said, really vulnerable to Blinkstalkers, and he is just going to blink on top of them, kill all of them, and yeah, that pretty much ends the game right there, and it is indeed a GG. Wow, yeah, the Blinkstalkers plus Mothership, great combination, because the Stalkers, yeah, as I said, they were not good enough. He didn't have enough to get all of the come on, Broodlords at the same time. So he split the Broodlords from the Infestors, got the Infestors first, and then took out the Broodlords when the Vortex was done. Yeah, that is such a powerful spell. Well, anyway, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. GG!